Initiating startup sequence.
This is AMIR Design Contemporary FR15. The design inspiration is on a rectangular form that is a spin-off of its predecessor FTR9 with a similar platform, but slightly smaller, that has evolved into some futuristic format, yet fitted with an old-school merged keypad. This model too is unique in its kind. It is equipped with a keychain, and it is so petite that when placed in its carry bag would fit in a pocket conveniently. As seen, the display, the merged keypad, and FPS assembly stand flush harmoniously, but the remaining buttons of the button field, although conveniently reachable, however, differ in heights. In other words, they are all arranged neatly in ways that are compensated for the sloped surface of the unit's face. The cuts and 4 chamfered corners, each having a different radius, are designed not only to provide diversified looks, but also to present the users with an outstanding artistic appearance that is like no other smartphone ever. There are other changes also incorporated into the works to fulfill the engineering and ergonomic requirements of the design for an excellent grab hold and handling performance. It is made light and rugged to endure nowadays life right. On top and way to the left is the little LED, placed on a tiny base for visual alerts. The LED, from where it is, has an all-around 360 degrees visibility. Halfway down the slope is the bulged ear set assembly, and further down is the secondary camera for video calls, mounted on a tall base whose both components having offsets to compensate for the height of the display and also for the slope of the body. Down the slope at the corner is the only band slot. At the extreme lower edge of the body there is the microphone set. The button field and merged keypad have occupied the lower half of the unit's face. As always, accessed easily buttons are on the 4 corners of the button field. While still at the button field, starting with the first red on its top left, second green on the lower left, across and on top right is the first green, and second red is located slightly below. The rest of the button field is spread around in the area, in between the 4 accessed easilies. In the center of the field is FPS assembly, mounted on a square box whose quad-directional arrows are exceptionally designed, slightly smaller than usual due to the space limitations. The yellow square on the top left of FPS is the back button. Slightly below is the rectangular blue EXO button. At the right of FPS, the yellow C and the red QSQC squared buttons are located further down the slope. The entire buttons and controls of the button field are made in different heights to compensate for height variations resulted from the sloped body as seen here. Above the button field and below the display is a AMIR Design merged keypad with the same height compensated format in red. The design of the merged keypad, as always, is custom-made to the specific model, and here as seen every 2 half-elliptical shapes forming one merged key. Here is a non-touch display that has occupied about half the smartphone face, and like a narrow strip is the partially exposed, one and only loudspeaker sitting at the right side. Around the walls where the buttons and connectors are, starting from the lower wall, is just ST switch on the taller side. On the left wall below the red and green buttons is charger PC connector. Further left is lock-unlock switch, then volume adjusters, and at the end is screen off-on button. On the top wall and at the taller side is the headphone plug. Beside it is the standalone power on-off button. And at the shallow end is the only holding band whose band slot was mentioned earlier. The right margin of the unit, as it is shown in detail, is designated to the only loudspeaker which was exposed before. The entire casing of the unit is made out of tainted and brushed stainless steel, not only for the looks, but also for its strength against impacts and possible damages. The backside of the smartphone reveals the beauty of the unit a whole lot better and is just dedicated to standard main camera assembly that includes the lens shutter, the lids, 2 LED flashes, and a AMIR design logo that sits below. The unit fits in a specially made wrinkled carry bag as seen in the presentation that is equipped with a keychain. The carry bag not only protects the tiny unit, but also the chain can be implemented as a keychain. As it is displayed in the presentation, the keychain is on one side while the holding band is placed on the other, so they don't tangle when pulling the smartphone out of the carry bag.
Initiating shutdown sequence.